Welcome back. Now that the Democratic convention is coming to a close and the RNC's convention concluded last week, some are asking what's next.
Yeah, a lot of people are asking what's next. The primaries are over. This is the campaign for November. The spotlight is just on two candidates and the running mates now. With more on what we can expect from these presidential nominees, Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, as they fight for your votes. Here is KUSI contributor and 1170 AM radio host Mark Larson.
Some are asking that.
Who are you giggling about?
Well, I was thinking about it. I'll make one prediction.
Okay.
I don't believe the candidates are going to be just making a beeline to Rio next week for the Olympics. Are they? I think there'll be bipartisan agreement saying, I don't think so, because the girl from Ipanema is probably wearing a hazmat suit down there. But anyway, final night tonight, and I'll tell you, I wouldn't want to be Hillary Clinton tonight. It'd make news if I was, but big speeches, you can't get away from the fact that they've had some spellbinding speeches from farther left night on Monday night. I loved Elizabeth Warren, who was railing against big banks while speaking in the Wells Fargo arena. That was kind of interesting. We had Bernie Sanders, who obviously wasted no time getting back to being an independent and not being with the Democrats. There may be some of that rabble-rousing one more time tonight. But you can't take away from Michelle Obama and Barack Obama's speeches, which were both fantastic. I mean, you could pick them apart a little bit if you wanted to, as political wonks will do. But there were segments in Obama's speech last night, the president's speech, that could have been pulled from a Reagan speech. Now, these are things you wouldn't necessarily connect to things he's done over the last 8 years necessarily, but there's the rub. But a lot of angst, a lot of tweets last night from a lot of Republicans who aren't there saying, oh, this shows you why a new generation is going to go with Democrats. Well, I'm not so sure this is the year for conventional wisdom either.
One of Hillary Clinton's biggest hurdles is overcoming the fact that so many people distrust her. They don't believe her. They think she's a liar.
Why could that be?
There's also been talk that she may be trying to appeal to some of the Trump voters, the Republicans and independents tonight. What does she have to do to bring them into the tent?
Well, they've got to do two things. They have to reintroduce her. We've been hearing this a lot. Reintroduce her to the American people and then introduce her to a whole new generation. They got a better shot at the latter in terms of people who have no idea, who don't remember the Lewinsky era and everything else. Bill Clinton did his speech the other night, and people who knew heard it in a different way. People who didn't hear him before thought, this is great, what a great love story. Apparently, while she was doing important things, he was writing poems. So that's what you would get when you watch that. But after 25 years of being in the public eye, I mean, you are who you are. We are wired the way we are. We can change our behavior somewhat, but we'll see. This has been the big convention of love in the city of brotherly love, which happens to be the city with the worst poverty of any big American city. And there's going to be a lot of talk again tonight. It has been today about the Republicans being party of hate. This is the party of love. We'll see if Hillary Clinton can convey that.
Mark, this is just human nature. When Barack Obama was running, many people voted for him because he was African American, because of the history involved. What do you think the female factor is going to play in this election? There are many people who will vote for Hillary Clinton because they think it's time for a woman in the White House.
Sure, and a lot of people say, well, just not that woman. We'll see how that plays out. But let's face it, there have already been a lot of glass ceilings broken in state houses across America. Some of the finest governors in America happen to be women. A lot of them are Republicans, but Margaret Thatcher broke a really big ceiling over in Great Britain years ago. So yeah, this is a big deal, but after that you get down to, okay, what are we really talking about here? What are the issues? Who believes in what? And once again, the national security, international security issue is important. We caught a glimpse of some of the things that Mrs. Clinton will say tonight. The Secretary will say that there are certain hot spots around the world. She doesn't happen to mention Syria and Libya. Interesting editing.
Really quick, we don't have any more time.
Yes.
With the bump, Donald Trump got a 7-point bump.
It happens after conventions.
What do you think about Hillary? What's going to happen here?
She'll most likely get some kind of a bump in some polls, but look at those averages, like realclearpolitics.com, see how that plays out.
We got 100 days to go.
Hey, the interesting thing is a lot of people are paying attention, and again, both candidates have some high negatives. So how does that pan out? We'll see. I predict Donald Trump will probably do a press conference tomorrow morning again and change the subject.
I predict you're right.
That's right.
Mark Larson, thank you very much.
Much more to come as we continue on this Thursday. We'll be back with more after this.